I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from other people. How are you supposed to know, Megan?
Use the Fourth
What are you supposed
Amendment.
to? How are you supposed
Use
to?
the Fourth
no, I'll tell you
Amendment.
how you
Get a warrant.
Listen, Senator. You know, when you're sitting in a subcommittee just blowing hot air about this, you can say things like that. When you're responsible for protecting the lives of the American people, then what you need to do is to make sure that you use the system the way it's supposed to work.
Here's the problem, Governor. You fundamentally misunderstand the Bill of Rights. Every time you did a case, you got a warrant from a judge. I'm talking about searches without warrants, indiscriminately of all Americans' records, and that's what I fought to end. I don't trust President Obama with our records. I know you gave him a big hug, and if you want to give him a big hug again, go right ahead.
All right, that was Governor Chris Christie and Senator Rand Paul in a heated moment from tonight's debate. Earlier this evening, right after the debate, I had a chance to speak with Governor Christie about this very issue. Governor, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing great, Sean. Thank you.
Feel good about the debate?
I do feel really good about it. It's glad to get out there and talk about the issues and be able to have some good interchanges, and I think it's really instructive for the public, so I was really happy to be here.
You had two pretty fiery exchanges with Senator Rand Paul, one about the NSA. Let's talk about that one first. I almost felt like maybe you guys were coming from the same place but had different perspectives. I talked to Jim Sensenbrenner, author of the Patriot Act. The original Patriot Act was never supposed to data mine American citizens, only if they were connected to outside countries, people, and again, went through the warrants. So, and I think he was talking about that, and you were saying that if we have reason, we ought to be monitoring people. Do you support full data mining?
Listen, what I support, Sean, is to allow us to collect that data and then match it up against whether or not folks are receiving calls from known terrorists. Right now, what under the law Senator Paul put into effect, now the phone companies maintain that data. Well, if they don't maintain it, we can't get it. If they maintain it, we may say to them, we need it now because we're looking to do something, and they'll say, we'll get back to you in 15 days. I mean, it makes America less safe.
But maybe you would be good with that data. Why would I not trust Barack Obama to have data on every American?
Listen, I don't trust Barack Obama either, but he's not the only person in the government who's making these decisions, right? I trust the director of the FBI. I know him. I worked with him. He used to be my boss at the Justice Department in the Bush administration. I know Jim Comey. I trust him. I trust the people in intelligence.
So how should it be used, though? How should that information be used?
It should only be used to match up against the phone records of known terrorists. And if there's a match between someone inside the United States and a known terrorist, then what Senator Paul said is absolutely right. Then you go and get a search warrant. But the idea that he says this, I want to collect more records from terrorists and less from regular people. How do you know who the terrorists are, Sean? You know, there are people in the United States who are right now preparing to attack us. We don't know that. But if they're contacting somebody outside the country who is a known terrorist, then we will know it.
Let me go to the other issue that you guys were battling on. And you're right, 70+% of our budget, you know what, we don't have influence over. We talk about discretionary spending, but we never talk about mandatory spending, promises that we've made. Would you say that we have to means test Social Security, raise the retirement age? What are you talking about?
I'd say both, but let's be really specific. I put out a specific plan. No one else on that stage tonight put out a specific plan. 2-year increase in the retirement age phased in over 25 years. That means 1 month a year for 25 years. Secondly, means test, but only for those people who are making over $200,000 a year in retirement income and have $4 to $5 million in liquid invested assets. Those people don't need a Social Security check. If we do those two things, we can save Social Security and not raise taxes.
And I don't want to sound like I'm defending the quote rich here, but weren't they promised when they paid that money in that they'd get it back?
They were.
Weren't we just basically licensing the government to steal and break a promise, though? I mean,
as I said tonight, Sean, the lying and the stealing's already occurred.
Sad,
by past administrations. That's really sad. It's the lockbox Al Gore talked about, right? 15 years ago. There's nothing but IOUs in the lockbox. So listen, this is what my campaign's about. I want to tell the truth to the American people, and I have confidence in the American people that they're strong enough to hear the truth. I trust them to hear the truth. What Governor Huckabee, with all due respect, was saying tonight is fantasy. It's fantasy, and the American people have heard enough of that. That's how the lying and stealing happens in the first place.
So you had a good time?
I had a great time.
Governor, good to see you.
See you in California.
See you in California. We'll be there.